The first thing people noticed was the body. The shape. The softness around the middle that didn't match the image of what a heavyweight fighter was supposed to look like. In a sport obsessed with chiseled frames and intimidating silhouettes, Andy Ruiz Jr. walked to the ring looking like an afterthought, like someone who had wandered into the wrong building by mistake. Cameras lingered, commentators chuckled, opponents relaxed just a little too much. They saw the size, but not the danger. And in boxing, that kind of mistake can end everything in a matter of seconds. From the moment Ruiz began his professional journey, the pattern repeated itself over and over. Fighters stood across from him expecting an easy night. Fans whispered that this would be the fight where reality finally caught up with him. Yet once the bell rang, the illusion shattered almost instantly. Ruiz didn't move like a man his size was supposed to. His hands came out fast, sharp, compact, snapping back into guard before opponents even realized they'd been hit. Combinations flowed in bunches, hooks chained into straight rights, uppercuts appearing where there should have been gaps. And behind it all was power, the kind that doesn't just hurt, but disorients, that turns confidence into panic in the blink of an eye. Early opponents learned this lesson the hard way. Francisco Diaz entered as a routine test, the type of fight designed to build a prospect's confidence and pad a record. Instead, he found himself under immediate pressure. Ruiz stalked him with a jab that wasn't just a measuring tool, but a weapon. Every step forward cut off space, every punch carried intent. Diaz tried to box off the back foot, but Ruiz's range sense was uncanny. Left hooks wrapped around the guard, right hand split the middle, and suddenly Diaz was moving backwards not by choice, but by necessity. When the knockdown came, it felt inevitable. When the finish followed, it felt merciful. What stood out wasn't just the power, but the pace. Ruiz fought like a man who knew exactly who he was and refused to apologize for it. He didn't waste motion. He didn't admire his work. When he smelled blood, he pressed forward, forcing exchanges, forcing mistakes. Against Kelsey Arnold, a bigger man on paper, Ruiz showed the same approach. Arnold tried to use his length to establish distance, but Ruiz slipped inside and went to work. Body shots thudded into ribs, hooks snapped head sideways, and before long Arnold was no longer fighting back. He was surviving. By the time the referee stepped in, the outcome had been decided for several minutes already. Each fight added another layer to Ruiz's reputation. Trainers noticed. Matchmakers noticed. Commentators began to change their tone, from amused skepticism to cautious respect. But still, the jokes lingered. The comparisons came. Butterbean. Flat-footed. Limited ceiling. And still, Ruiz kept answering in the only language that mattered inside the ring. When he faced K.L. Davis, the gap between perception and reality grew even wider. Davis had experience, had been around long enough to know how to survive rough moments. None of that mattered. Ruiz's speed advantage was immediately apparent. A straight right hand sent Davis to the canvas early, and when he rose, he was already damaged. Ruiz didn't rush. He didn't swing wildly. He placed shots with precision, right hand followed by left, then another left for emphasis. The fight ended before the crowd had fully settled into their seats, another first-round knockout added to the growing collection. That was the story of Ruiz's rise. He didn't grind out decisions. He didn't edge past opponents on points. He broke them down and removed them from the fight. Each victory felt like a warning shot fired across the division, even if many still refused to listen. The warning grew louder when Ruiz stepped in with Elijah McCall, a man carrying a famous last name and serious punching credentials of his own. The son of former heavyweight champion Oliver McCall, Elijah McCall came in with confidence, believing that his power could match Ruiz's. Early exchanges were competitive, but it didn't take long to see the difference. Ruiz absorbed shots that would have discouraged others and answered immediately, refusing to give ground. His jab set the table, his hooks cleared it. By the second round, McCall's legs betrayed him. He hung on, trying to buy time, but Ruiz's accuracy never wavered. When the referee stopped it, McCall was on his feet but gone in every way that mattered. One fighter walked back to the corner knowing he was headed somewhere special. The other would never be the same again. By this point, the whispers had turned into conversations. This wasn't just a novelty act. This wasn't a guy getting by on toughness and surprise. Ruiz was a technician with fast hands, a deep amateur background, and a frightening ability to end fights suddenly. Still, the narrative lagged behind the reality. The body didn't change, so the doubts didn't either. Matthew Greer found that out almost immediately. A veteran journeyman, Greer was expected to provide rounds, maybe test Ruiz's patience. Instead, he became another highlight. Body shots folded him in half. Hooks caught him on the ear, scrambling his balance. Each knockdown came quicker than the last, until the referee had seen enough. Another first-round finish. Another reminder not to stand in front of Ruiz with your guard down. Ken Frank followed, a stay-busy opponent whose goal was simply to last longer than the others. Ruiz didn't allow that luxury. From the opening bell, his hands moved in blinding flurries. 8 punch combinations crashed through Frank's defenses, upstairs and downstairs, never letting him breathe. Frank tried to box, tried to hold, tried to slow the pace, but nothing worked. By the second round, his corner knew what was coming. The towel came in, ending the punishment. It was routine for Ruiz, but brutal for anyone standing across from him. All of it built toward a moment that would change everything. Joe Hanks entered undefeated, confident, and respected. This was supposed to be the fight where Ruiz's limitations were exposed. Instead, it became the night those limitations were proven imaginary. From the opening round, Ruiz pressured Hanks relentlessly. Overhand rights landed clean. Left hooks to the body drained energy. Hanks tried to fight back, but he was always a half step behind. By the fourth round, Ruiz stepped on the gas. A crushing left hook flattened Hanks, sending him crashing to the canvas. He barely beat the count, only to be dropped again moments later. The fight was over. Ruiz stood victorious, his biggest win to date, and suddenly the division had no choice but to take him seriously. The same pattern repeated against veterans like Tor Harmer. Early resistance gave way to fatigue.